Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Circle. So when I first saw the trailers for this, I got super excited. I am an admitted robophobe, and I fear where technology is going, and seeing this trailer, I'm like, wow, this is actually something where it's like it's going to take what's going on where people are becoming so attached to technology and being so overwhelmed with it and living in technology and losing that human connection and actually challenge that. Not this movie. I the trailers sell you on a very, very, very different movie than what was actually given here. And this movie made me very angry. And by the end, as I was walking out, I was super frustrated and very angry at this movie. And a lot of that had to do with the themes and how they're handled and everything. But overall, this wasn't a great movie either, which is really disappointing because, especially with the talent involved in this, and you're taking a look at director James Ponsoldt and the way that he tells this story is so blunt and heavy-handed, and it's just like new plot point, boom, no finesse at all with how these events are coming about, and you feel like things just come out of nowhere, and it's just like, boom, this character's done with this stuff. They look perfectly fine this past scene. Boom, they look like they haven't slept in a year. Just like, holy crap, when did that happen? And that was never actually very well done in this film, and when you're trying to movies are about telling the story, and when you can't do that very well, that's not a great sign. And next, talking about this film was really repetitive and recycled the same thing, and it really felt like there was no drive to a point. It was not driving to a purpose. It was repetitive. Let's take this idea one step further. Let's have a speech about it. Let's take this one step further. Let's have a speech about it. There was a lot of speeches in this movie, and depending on who was doing it, I was super interested, and I'll get to that in a second. And there were some serious tonal issues with this movie. Holy crap. Some things just came out, I was like, did that really just happen? Holy crap. And I was actually very surprised about how not well done this film was in terms of the actual direction of this film. Looking at the cinematography, which was done by Matthew Libotique, there's some really cool things in this movie. It's very sleek. And then you have some really cool shots and really cool, interesting things, and then you have some really bad things. There's some shots where it's like, that was really cool. I like what they did with that. And then there's some shots that's like, wow, that looked really bad. Why do you need CGI for that shot? Was that CGI? Because if it wasn't, then you made a really bad shot on your camera. And you notice this movie doesn't have the biggest of budgets, so when they do use CGI, it doesn't look the greatest, and it's just like it just looks bad, and it took me out of the movie. And then getting down to the writing, which was done by director James Ponsoldt and also Dave Eggers. This movie that it could have been really interesting. The movie that gave us was not. And I got really frustrated with how mismanaged these themes are and how they didn't challenge anything. It's like they set up these really interesting potential conflicts, but they don't have any conflicts with it. The characters in this movie were a bunch of sheep, and nobody was the wiser to just be like, what the hell are you doing? And the main character, instead of saying, what the hell are you doing, says, let's take this even further. And it's just like, what are you doing? And I got so frustrated and just angry. And there's characters in this movie that were completely pointless and really did not need to be in this movie. And they were played by some very talented people, and it's like, why? Why? Why did you waste them? Why were they in this? What was the point of this? And it just overall it just was really repetitive and really wasn't going anywhere. And I wouldn't be giving this any credit as even redeemable if it wasn't for some of the acting and some of the technical aspects of this film and the music. And getting to the acting, Emma Watson and Eller Coltrane were both really bad and really awkward, and I didn't believe either of them for a second. They had this conversation too that they show in the trailer. It came off so bad and so awkward and unbelievable in the movie, and it's just like, no, that was bad. And then you have John Boyega and Patton Oswalt who are completely wasted, and it's just like, they're both very talented. They could have had a lot more to do, but you just didn't. But thank God for Tom Hanks. And I'm just gonna say this: the trailer makes him seem like he's like this big, conflicting character in this film. He's in this for like less than 15 minutes. Just putting that out there. But when he is on screen, Tom Hanks is like, I'm here to remind you that I'm better than all of you. And he acts the hell out of this movie whenever he's on screen. And I wish this movie, I would have just watched him for 2 hours because he's just that likable. And he had one line, I'm not going to spoil it, but made me laugh out loud in the theater, and it was fantastic. Best part of the movie. But Tom Hanks was amazing. And there's some other redeemable performances. Karen Gillan, who I know was in Doctor Who. I've not really watched Doctor Who, but I know her as Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. She was really good, and her acting was very well done in this film with what she was given. There's parts where when she was yelling, I couldn't understand her because of her accent. But besides those points, it was fine. And then Emma Watson's parents, played by the late Bill Paxton, and Glenn Headley, they were so endearing and wonderful. And I'm like, I love her parents, and they were right. She's an idiot. Whatever. And the last big thing that I'm going to actually give this movie some credit for, the soundtrack to this was fantastic. I'm sitting there thinking, who made this soundtrack? And the credits rolled, and it was Danny Elfman. I'm like, what? I was not surprised now that it was fantastic because it was Danny Elfman. As you can tell, I'm very frustrated by this movie, and I was even more frustrated when I was walking out of the theater. I saw this on Tuesday, so this was 6 days ago. But overall, I'm going to give The Circle a D. Would not recommend.